Grand Rising Soul Tribe, Tracy here, Sweet Spot e-magazine. I wanted to jump on here really quickly this morning before I jump on my work computer and do my straight eight. Thank you so much for the likes, shares, views, subscribes, comments, donations, everything. I appreciate it all. Let me grab my chapstick. We're going to go ahead and ring the bell. We are going to clear out this energy. And then we're going to see what the message the Spirit has for us this morning. You know, when realization steps in, the fantasies are gone. Somebody's like, maybe I feel like somebody was talking to somebody and they broke it all the way down and they kept it 100. Morning, Jody, Marlo. You know, somebody, they kept it 100. And this is what's causing somebody to like think, damn, you know what? They sure right. Hey, Miss Pretty Girl Swag. Hey, Ragnarok. You know, somebody they spoke with they listened to somebody. Before it was like they couldn't hear anything, but they listened to somebody that was not that's outside of whatever this chaos is. Bottom of the deck, fresh start. Yeah, I feel like somebody wants to do a fresh start. Now this person is ready to be their own individual. You know, something about this person, they know that they didn't have any inner strength. They weren't receiving their blessings. And it's because they hadn't released something. They needed to release something. They was trying to hide how upset they were. You can't hide that. You cannot hide that. Hola, Marcia. Yeah, somebody's thinking about, they're thinking about, and they're thinking about their money. That's what they really dreaming on, or thinking about was their money. But you know what? Their money's not, is nothing is happening. They're not receiving any blessings. And this is why somebody was telling them about it. The reason that you're not receiving, the momentum's not there for you to create the home that you want, you know, or build the home that you want and create things is because you know why. Someone is like, you know why. All this chaos, all this bullshit that you brought to yourself, someone is like keeping it 100 with this person. And they're telling this person it's who you was attached to, what you thought that you needed. I'm telling you, somebody woke up. They had to wake up and they had to realize that, you know what? They was being selfish. They were only thinking about them. They weren't thinking about anybody else. Now this person has to do their shadow work. They got to go within. They got to figure some shit out. Because, you know, this person is figuring, you know, it was the community that they was relying on, or they thought the community was going to have their back. Those are the people that caused them to make the misstep. No, it was no. It wasn't the community that caused them to make the misstep. It was them succumbing to peer pressure that caused them to make the misstep. This person is not receiving any blessings because they have to let go of some stuff. I'm telling you, this person, they think that they hiding this grief. They think that they're being sneaky. They think that they don't have to do some shadow work, but they are wrong. That's what this person is missing. That's why things are not working out for this person. You know, you can't do no fuck shit and then expect God to be like, yeah, I know that you messed up one of my most loved and beloved children, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you this Mercedes like you asked for anyway. No, it don't work like that. Somebody's friend was truly being a friend. Somebody was truly being a friend to this person and told them, you wrong. They was like, sis, bruh, I don't know what planet you come from, but you know what? You need to look at things a little bit differently. Yes, they need to look at things differently, because it was like this person, they was hating on you because you was your own individual. Whereas this person is sitting here sleepless at night because they succumbing to peer pressure. Hey, Fresh from Anna, how are you? What? Why do they think people up top want them when they way better than them? So, okay. Mm, okay. Yeah, somebody, it's like they're sitting here, they can't sleep, can't really eat right. They don't feel good inside because they allowed themselves to succumb to peer pressure. Hey, she's lit 420. Hello, how are you? They allowed themselves to succumb to peer pressure. What's the message? Now they feel stuck. They feel stuck. And they still sleepless, but yet they still daydreaming. They still thinking about how they can still get in their money, how they can still do this, but they don't realize, until you get things right, until sometimes, it's not until you actually take the steps to make something right, even if everybody doesn't say at the end, okay, well, we'll kiss and make up, now we're friends again. As long as you take the steps to make it right. That's what God cares about. Once you are open, you open your heart. Once you put your real self out there, once you humble yourself, that's whenever things start happening. That's whenever you get back on your grind. That's whenever God says, okay, now I'm ready to be fair with you because you took the time to get on your grind and be fair with somebody else. See, somebody had to bring it to that person and say, hey, why don't you compare the old you to where you at right now? The old you had a lot more respect. The old you was making money, was doing this and doing that. Everybody loved to be around you. You was getting all these likes, but the new you, don't nobody want to be around that. Someone knows that they need to get their life together. They need to make some momentum. They need to go back to this soulmate. That's what they need to do. They need to apologize and they need to work on building their home with that person. They need to get into the flow of being of service to people instead of just take. Sometimes in life it's not about what you can accomplish. Sometimes in life it's about what you can help others do. People don't even want to have sexy time with this person. Everybody's like, please get up out of here. Please just go. And this person is not understanding what it was that they have manifested. But like I said, somebody had to ask them to look at yourself back then and then look at yourself now. Which was better? Before you did some fuck shit to this person or after you did the fuck shit to this person, someone had to ask this person, what was it? What's the catalyst to your suffering? What's the message? And it's like somebody had to go back and really think. Yeah, and they see now that this community was not their friends. They should have left all of these people alone. These people were not their friends. That's why nobody wants to deal with them because you know what? They got off track. They felt like they needed to have Money, 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 money. There was nothing more important than money. If I don't get money, it ain't nothing. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Da da da. Money, 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 money. And now they ain't got no dollars, and they act like they ain't never had no sense. And they're watching you. They're watching you. The it girl, they're watching you create. They're watching your business boom. They're watching your empire grow. They are watching you grow. Because you know what? You've gone within. You have gone within, and you know what? You're not afraid to look at yourself. You're not afraid to look at to think spiritually, to think outside of the box. You're not afraid to ask for spirit what it is that you need. And guess what? You weren't afraid. This person they're afraid of their own spirituality. They're afraid that if they open up their mind, their heart, their soul to welcome in their passed over loved ones, their ancestors, God, all of that, that somehow they're going to be ostracized or cast out, and people are going to be like, oh, that's weird. No, people don't think that's weird. People think that's good. They're afraid of what people thought. But now, it's like it don't make sense to be afraid of what people think. Do some fuck shit, and now you're afraid of what people think. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense and this is why their friends telling them, you bought this on yourself. You bought this on yourself, going against this person. You brought this on yourself, dude or sis, bruh, ma'am. So how you gonna get mad that you in the position that you in? Yes. See, somebody denied you. They denied you. Who was it that denied Jesus 3 times? They denied you. And now they're awakened. They're awakened that, you know what? The reason this great crumble is happening, the reason that they have these burdens is because they refuse to do a fresh start with you. But that's what they need to do. This is what this person is awakened to, that what they need is they need to leave all them people behind. Think for themselves. Yeah, somebody was so worried. I'm telling you, somebody was so worried about how they looked, how I look. I look okay. I look cool. Does this look make my muscles look big? Huh? What I look like? But they're realizing that people don't care about that. People don't really care about them, about how you look into the crowd. They acting like they care about how you act. What are you doing to ascend? What are you doing to grow? What are you doing to mature? That's what people are really looking at. That's what somebody had to really understand. It was not what you got. It was not how much was in your pocket. It was how you treat everyone. It was how you show up. It was how you protect the underdog. It was how you, when you say that you're going to do this, how you do it. Yeah. To somebody, they watching you. You was never afraid to be of service. You was never afraid to give someone a helping hand. In fact, you was the first person to jump out there. Oh, I can help. What you need? I'm willing to do whatever I can with whatever I have, to offer. Yes, no problem. That was you. You was the one that was trying to build a home with this person. But you know what? This person, they didn't want nothing. They was like, nah, I'm finished with that. I'm good with that. Only to find that this person, now they walking in your shoes and they understand. They walking in your shoes. Confirmation. So every way that they was treating you, they are being treated. Everybody, every time they said something nasty to you, somebody's saying something just as vile and nasty to them. However, they was disrespectful to you. They are now being disrespected. They're being discounted. They're being just dissed. They know it's time for them to clean up their own shit. You know, sometimes it's like we do have to have somebody, and it could have been somebody that they would least expect to say this to them. This is like somebody that they just did not expect this person to say this to them. But you know what? Whoever said it, it made this person sit. It made them sit down for a while by themselves. And you know what? They had to really think about what this person was saying. And you know what? It was the truth. This person, it's like once they got into the flow, once they let that resonate, they understood that whatever information, whatever